Good morning, I hope you're having an absolutely fantastic day, and it's time for a Music Month video, which is a little bit late because I had to make that silly Owl City review last week. But Music Month is, for those of you who don't know, when I choose 5 songs on one album that represent a certain theme or mood or genre, and because in the UK at least it's been very hot and sunny recently, I thought I'd go with another selection like I did last year of acoustic tracks. So this video will consist of 5 songs and 1 acoustic album that I really like and that you should listen to if it's sunny, or if it's not. I mean, they kind of work in any context. And for those of you who want to follow the music that I'm talking about, I will have a Spotify playlist linked below to all of the tracks from this Music Month video. So track 1 in these acoustic selections is by a wonderful singer and producer called Lights and is called Follow You Down. It's from her album Midnight Machines, which is actually an acoustic version of her album Little Machines. I've spoken about this in a vinyl haul video before. I prefer Midnight Machines. I just really love the production on it, and this is one of my favorite tracks from that album. It demonstrates her vocal abilities really well. Primarily it's just an acoustic guitar and her voice. There is a cello that comes in, and then I think it's a pedal steel guitar at times as well, which all just adds to it, but it's subtle, it's not overstated. It's mostly just a brilliantly recorded and produced acoustic guitar and her voice. The whole album is really well produced. It's just a silky smooth wonderful song, and when she sings the line "So just call me," it brings a damn tear to my eye. Track number 2 on this list is by an artist called Tom Spate and is called Old Flame. Now this is a very traditional acoustic guitar singer-songwriter track, but it's an example of one that's done incredibly well, meaning that the lyrics are really good and the vocal melody is done well. I mean, the chord structure behind it is a fairly sort of generic one, but that's irrelevant. I don't like it when people complain about, oh, it's the same like 4-chord structure all the way through. That's just like the foundation. If you can make interesting things happen above there, then that's kind of what matters, and that is what is achieved in this song. Yeah, for me, the things that stand out in this track are just the lyrics more than anything else. When he sings the line, "I don't know why I came here tonight, but I want you," that just really like struck a chord for me. You know, when you're listening to a song for the first time and you hear a lyric and you're just like, wow, okay, yeah, that's good. I had one of those moments when I was listening to this track and it just brought up a load of old feelings in a really wonderful, grim way. Third track on this list is by Bon Iver, of course, and is actually from his most recent release, 22 Million, and it's called 29 Stratford Apartments. This is one of my favorite tracks from that album, and I did a review of it, and I like the album, but it didn't all resonate with me. It's definitely something that the more I've listened to, the more I've learned to appreciate about it. But this song, especially the first 30 seconds that just start off with this sort of acoustic guitar, piano comes in, it flows together so well, and it's not the most acoustic track in the world. There are lots of bits of weird and wonderful production, as there are on lots of the tracks on 22 Million, but I just feel like it kind of brings a sort of a calm to the general tone of the quite chaotic album. I use the word chaotic quite loosely there. I mean, there are lots of very calming, more ethereal songs on that record. This track just seems to be able to retain a sense of sort of authenticity and a kind of nice natural feeling to it, even though there's all this other production going on as well. Yeah, 29 Stratford Apartments is track number 3 on this list. Track number 4 on this list is just not really an acoustic track at all. I kind of realized this. I had an idea of the songs I wanted beforehand, and I always write out a little sort of, not script, but I just write some notes on each song. I was listening to it and I was just like, this is just a band song. It just has an acoustic guitar at the very beginning of it. But anyway, track number 4 is Stable Song by Death Cab for Cutie. It's got an acoustic guitar at the beginning of it, so that's good enough. I just really like this song and wanted an excuse to put it in one of these videos. It's one of my favorite Death Cab for Cutie songs, and there are lots of them, believe me. Like so many Death Cab tracks, this song manages to be both melancholy, gut-wrenching, lonely, and somehow kind of upbeat and cheery all at the same time. It's a very weird experience listening to Death Cab. If you haven't done it before, then yeah, just listen to a whole load of it. This is the closing track from that album Plans, which is a very good album by itself, but it just slows everything down. Like, when you've listened to it in the context of the whole album, it's a really nice kind of calming end to it, but even out of the context of the album, just listening to the song by itself, it just, yeah, like, it slows things down. It kind of gives you time to sort of just breathe and relax a little bit, and I really like that. These lovely strummed chords that open the track up by both being a sort of a rhythm and a melody at the same time, because the vocal line sort of mimics what the guitar is playing at times, but it's just lovely. And then when the beat comes in, it just kind of moves forward in a slow but not lazy or over encumbered sort of way. And finally, track number 5 from this acoustic music month is by a wonderful artist called Joshua Radin and is called These Photographs. Like a lot of people, I was first introduced to Joshua Radin through what's probably one of the most heartbreaking episodes of Scrubs ever. If you've ever seen Scrubs, you'll know what I mean. But anyway, I think Zach Braff and Joshua Radin were friends, so Zach Braff used a lot of his music in the show. And this track is from what I think was his debut release, We Were Here. And while I was tempted to choose one of his more well-known tracks like Closer or Winter from that album to sort of close this list off, I thought it might be nice to have something a bit more upbeat. We Were Here as well is a fantastic album. If you haven't heard it, it's a total gem, and it's something that I can always return to. I haven't been that interested in Joshua Radin's music in the last few years, but that one album, it's always there. Anyway, these photographs, lovely upbeat rhythmic start to it, and then it's just got this kind of happy melody. I think it's played on like a glockenspiel or something with his guitar. It's got his very, very distinctive sort of whispery, soft vocals going on. And this song, it's just nice. It's kind of just about someone looking at photographs and allowing them to keep memories alive or something. I don't know. I'm not very good at analyzing these things. Anyway, the rhythmic but gentle instrumentation marries so well with his voice, and it's just an absolutely charming song. So those are the 5 tracks for this Music Month video. Now, the one album I've chosen is actually by the same artist that I chose for the last acoustic selection I did. One of my favorite artists, Benjamin Francis Leftwich, but this time I'm choosing his debut EP, Pictures. Obviously, it's not a full album, and I was very tempted to use his latest release, After the Rain, as the album in this video, but I thought that Pictures was more consistently acoustic all the way through. And also, there's just something that I love so much about the Pictures EP. And don't get me wrong, I absolutely love After the Rain. It was in fact my top record of 2017. But Pictures has just got this amazing charm to it. Beautiful music and phenomenal lyrics as well. He's a very good lyricist. Whenever I listen to See You Soon, I get these reminiscent chills that just bring up all of this old stuff for me, but I really, really like it. There are only 4 songs on there, but that's enough. And there's so much repeat listening value to this EP. I mean, I've been listening to it for years now, and I'm still not bored of it. I just think the songs are so good, and he's got such a good voice, and it's one of the most distinctive voices, I think, in the kind of indie singer-songwriter circles. I feel like there are very few people who wouldn't recognize his voice, and his voice is good and distinct enough that even if the instrumentation was a bit lackluster or a bit boring, then it would make up for it. But we don't need to worry about that because the instrumentation is great, as is his voice. So it's just a really, really wonderful EP. It's perfect for kind of sitting outside, just the sun's going down, listening to some nice acoustic music, thinking about all of the loves you've lost and all the heartbreak you've caused and all the future ones you'll probably cause as well. I don't know. I don't even know what I'm talking about. I'm really tired at the moment, and I need a haircut as well. This is ridiculous. So there we go. That concludes this Music Month video. Like I said, there'll be a Spotify playlist link below that you can go and listen to. Have you heard any of the music that I've mentioned today and you like it or you dislike it? You know, what do you think? What are you listening to? Let me know if there are any recommendations you have for me to listen to, because I always like discovering new music. Let me know all of that down in the comment section there. Thank you so much for watching. I really, really do hope that you've enjoyed this. Have an absolutely fantastic day, and I'll see you very soon.